Good morning. How are you all doing? I have a challenge for you. Raise your hand if you have declined a task, like answering a question or making a conversation, starting a conversation, or be it auditioning for a stage event or sports because you were afraid of failing or what someone else might say. Thank you. That took a lot of courage for you to raise your hands. I consider all the tasks that I listed as risky. As a child, I was unwilling to talk to someone new because I had butterflies in my stomach. Risk could be something that, life-altering event like choosing to do bungee jumping, or something silly like not wearing your seatbelt or your helmet when you are traveling. I'm not talking about those risks. I'm talking about positive risks that the small choices that you make, but actually help you grow. I'm talking about those risks. Now, risk taking is a habit. The more you do it, the more comfortable you get, and the more you swing. So, I wanted to connect this to positive risk. Positive risks lead to growth. And imagine this, you can become so much more by learning every single day when you make risk taking as a habit. So I delved more into this and found if there is a research that is connected to this. And I found a paper called Happiness is a Risky Business by A.J. Adams on Psychology Today. And she connects that risk taking is connected to self growth. And it brings in this, it's connected to the thrill of unknown that sort of pulls us in. It is a tantalizing effect, but most of us cannot take the uncertainty that comes with it. We are scared. So, she cites the paper written by John Tulloch and Miss Lupton from Australian Charles Sturt University, and they connect the risk to being connected to self-improvement. So the speech goes on to, the paper goes on to another paper from Barbara Sahakian. You know what she does? She is listing out steps to make it into a habit. How about that? I hit the jackpot. So there are 4 steps to taking risks, how to make it a habit. First one, improve your self-efficacy. Second, accept the failure. Third one, evaluate your anxieties. And fourth, find a balance between risk and routines. Now let me go over this. Firstly, if we start with saying that I will not be able to do something, do you think we'll do something risky? We'll have to first believe in ourselves. We have to start small and say that self-talk that happens before you take a risk. We need to trust ourselves and say, I will be able to do this. And so developing that is the first step that changes happens within us first. There are some teachers who are very afraid to take the stage, and they will not talk to adults at all. They will refuse that opportunity. But the same people, and given an opportunity that they happen to take the stage and they did a great job, and they'll be filled with pride. They're filled with immense pride. Why? Because talking to an audience is much scarier than talking to a classroom full of students. They have curriculum to finish. That's not a problem. So I think taking the first step is actually, it does a lot for us. Secondly, what is the worst that could happen? What would you lose from doing this particular task? I think it helps us to evaluate that and accept that there will be losses. Now, I was talking to some students about anxieties in an exam room. And it came up that, I teach math. So you do a math worksheet, you're doing that in an exam, and then you do it very well, and you come to a question that you are not able to solve. And then you fret and fume, and you forget what you're doing, and the remainder of the paper is history, right? So I would suggest this. Ask yourself this: how many marks am I actually losing in this question? What is my target score? Can I make my target score even without the score backing up? Is this loss okay? Is it manageable? If you connect that questioning during the exam time, you keep the momentum going and don't stop because you have come across a barrier. You accept the loss and you keep going. You keep the momentum, and that helps us. Point 3, You're going to evaluate your anxieties. Where do these anxieties come from? What thoughts are starting these anxieties? Evaluate those thoughts, because our minds it's tricky. They make up conversations or arguments for the decisions or against the decision that we are trying to make. So is this actually true? Can you find proof for it? There are some adults who will not start something new thinking that after 30s I'm not going to learn anything new. That's not going to happen. Well, I started swimming laps and my husband is picked up Carnatic music after we entered into our 40s. So find proof. Now, the fourth one is finding out happiness in risk and routine. Now, we all have our routines, right? We like read our books or like scroll through the phones, watching reels. We have a comfort zone. And our comfort zone is our happy place, yes. We find that easy to keep. I remember my stay-at-home days when I was getting tired of reading books and watching TV, and I needed something more. I was thirsting for something more. So I signed up for being a substitute teacher in my son's school. That brought a lot more excitement. That risk brought me that excitement that routine did not. So I think we need both. That risk keeps us going. I would like to add a fifth point to this. Are you growing? Are you growing out of the risk that you want to take? I'll tell you this happened, and the person sitting right there. I was showing off my art to one of my colleagues because, I was just proud of it. I was showing off my art to some of my, and I forgot that her husband was a professional artist. And then she takes out her phone and starts showing a whole gallery of it. Now, here, look. And I was like, I paled in comparison. I didn't know where to start. And I questioned myself deeply. Is this even worth it? I mean, why do we even bother persevering something that we seemingly that had not achieved that level at all, that someone else has already mastered? And then I got to the answer, it is to grow. It is to grow ourselves. It's not about being the best in the field. It's not becoming famous and all. It's about my growth. We wouldn't know where we can reach unless we keep persevering and be resilient. Now, talking about resilience, there is one person I find it as the epitome of resilience. And she walks among us here. She keeps pushing barriers. She finds the new horizons every single time. And I don't know how she manages to do a degree. She's doing, alongside her full-time job, she's also getting, she's getting 2 degrees and as well as her job done. I don't know how she finds the time, but she's totally open to making mistakes. She's being resilient about that. It's not easy to fall, get back up, and redefine ourselves every time. And that takes something more. And she has made it into a culture of her, of pushing horizons, finding new horizons, and keep growing. The growth becomes her main thing. So, for students, if you are, let me assume that you are bought into my speech, and you are going to take up risk-taking as a habit. Now, what do you gain from it? You're going to gain from the constant, the sense of accomplishment, right? Or you're going to fail. If you fail, you have learned from that as well. And that's a good thing. Now, if the risks are more important than the losses that could occur, Elon Musk said that, take the risk. Jeff Bezos lives by the philosophy that he would not regret failing, but he would definitely regret not trying at all. I'll give you an imagery for you. A tortoise cannot go anywhere without coming out of its shell. So, live your life. You have one life. Risk it. See what you can do. And become all that you can become. And finally, remember what Helen Keller said. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. Thank you.